Coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. It's all about your purpose. And ironically, your purpose is really not about you. It's about everybody else. We believe here on the Ken Coleman Show that you were created to fill a unique role through your work. In other words, you were created to contribute. What is that contribution, that unique role? What does that look like? And what does that have to do with all the different jobs in the marketplace that will allow you to fill that role? Well, that's what we discuss. And later in the program, for those of you who are new to the program, I'm going to start today, and we're going to walk through over the next 7 show days, so Monday through Friday, and then we'll pick up 2 more days, and I'm going to walk through each stage of the clear path to meaningful work, to working like very few others who wake up on Monday morning fired up and who go home on Friday afternoon filled up. You see the difference? How many of you are fired up on Monday morning, and then how many of you on Friday afternoon are filled up? And I don't mean I'm sick of this. I mean you're full. You're filled up. Your tank is so full because you have spent the week doing work that matters deeply to you. Now, we're going to talk about get clear, which is stage 1, and we're going to unpack it a little bit later. So I'm going to put this challenge out there. If you're watching live right now on YouTube, or if you're going to watch this later, press the pause button. Maybe go get somebody that needs to hear this, or forward them the link and say, hey, you need to tune into this, or send them today's show. Say, hey, you need to watch this. Specifically, how to get clear, which is stage 1. You got to know who you are before you can grow where you are. So we're going to get to that. We'll get to your chat questions. Right there next to the video window is the chat room. You can fire your question away at any time. We'd like to get to 2 or 3 of those a show. Make sure they're short and sweet and to the point. Now, for those of you who are going, I'm nervous, Ken. I've thought about calling, but I'm really nervous. Listen in today and see how I treat folks. We're going to take good care of you. You've got the answers. It's my job to get them out of you. All right? So don't be nervous. Call. Maybe today. Don't even listen in. Just decide, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. So I want to talk about those of you who are ready to quit. You might have been ready to quit prior to COVID. The data had held pretty steady over the last several years of about 68 to 70%, somewhere in that range, of people were unhappy in their work. Now, the 2 reasons for this, if I'm keeping these high level, would be, number 1, you're just not passionate about the work. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we talk about Get Clear later in the program. But you just had no passion for the work. Maybe you're good at it, but there's just no juice. The second reason is you're in a really difficult culture filled with difficult leadership, maybe toxic coworkers. Those tend to be the really big reasons that people want to quit. So maybe you were that way before COVID, or maybe you weren't. Maybe COVID and the way that companies have reacted and all the changes and everything, maybe it's just nudged you to say, you know what? I wanted to quit anyway. This global pandemic has kind of brought everything into hyper-focus as it relates to priorities. That's what crises tend to do for all of us. Give us super clear perspective on what really matters. And so I just want to run through a couple things here that you need to do if you're ready to leave. Because we got to get a mindset and we got to have a plan to leave as much as we do to go acquire something else. So the first thing is you got to get clear. We're going to unpack that later in the program. You got to know what your sweet spot is, okay? You got to understand it. You got to know what that unique role is within the sweet spot, and then begin to look at the marketplace and say, what's out there that will allow me to fill my unique role? The second thing is do some research on other companies. As you begin to identify possible companies that have jobs that you're intrigued by, that you think are in your sweet spot, you got to do your homework. Now, specifically, looking at websites like Glassdoor, Career Bliss, and Vault, and really look in at the current and former employees to get a better sense of the company's values. Also, dive into your network to see if you know somebody that works at this company you're interested in, or do you know somebody that knows somebody, whether it's 3, 4, 5 degrees of separation. That's where you get vital information about what it's really like inside the walls. Now, one thing I want to put out there is this. Don't read 2 or 3 negative comments and make a conclusion. It ought to be 30 comments, and if 28 of the 30 or 25 of the 30 or 20 of the 30 are negative, then we've got a pattern here, and that's trustworthy data. Don't just take one opinion of somebody who's unhappy and paint it with a broad brush. I think that's dangerous. Now, let's say you get to the opportunity to get the interview. This is important. We talk about this in my How to Win the Interview guide, which is free at kencoleman.com. Interview the interviewer. Like the interview isn't just about you showcasing yourself. The interview is about you taking the opportunity to get that antenna up and see if you sense anything that would concern you about the culture. Because on one hand, you're about ready to leave a negative culture. We don't want to step right into another negative culture. You want to talk about feeling like you're stuck. That would do it. So in the interview, asking questions about, describe the culture to me here. What kind of person wins in this place? What kind of person loses in this place? Those kind of questions, which are all reflected in our How to Win the Interview guide at kencoleman.com. Those are the questions you need to ask. And that's how you make sure that you're moving on to a better place. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. All right, I got my freshly sharpened pencil. That means we're ready to go to the phones. Misty is up first in Independence, Missouri. Misty, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Misty.
I need a little bit of help with my clarity. I'm really hung up.
Okay.
Don't like what I'm doing at all. I hate it. I just can't. I can't do it anymore.
I get it. Well, hey, you know what? That's good news. You're really clear about that, right? And listen,
I had a job I loved, and I did it for 4 years, and I need to get back. Okay. In that direction.
What did you love about that job? Let's be very specific. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, give
everything.
me...
I woke up, I would problem solve, manage people, manage my teams, customer service, quality control, anything that took care of a problem, anything where my boss didn't have to worry about it, anything where I could make the customers' worries and fears go away. Anything that involved relieving other people's stress.
You good at all those things?
Getting the job done. I'm sorry?
Are you good at all those things you listed? Problem solving, managing the team, customer service, process stuff. Okay, so sounds like you're really clear about what you do best, talent, and the work you love to do most, passion. I mean, my goodness, we could all hear that. You're clear, but yet you started off the call saying you're not clear. Tell me where you don't think you're clear and where I can help.
I don't know about going into business for myself because I want to work for somebody, but I'm so good at everything. Like I handle doing everything in the background. I love. Mm-hmm. I love all that. I don't need the credit. I like the validation of knowing that I was successful and it allowed it to carry on, even if other people don't know that. But I know that it would not have went that silly without me.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of knowledge, so it's kind of like I just need to be busy all the time.
Are you saying?
And I'm kind of.
Are you? Go ahead. Well, I'm trying to help you because you're still not telling me where you're not clear. Because I'm hearing a woman who sounds very clear, except for one thing.
I hate going to the same place every day. I don't want to go into an office every single day where I'm not traveling. I'm used to being in the field, taking phone calls, managing 100 different things, but not going into an office every day.
Okay, so So, Misty, I think what I'm hearing is, tell me if I'm right or wrong, that you are not clear about the type of positions that are available to you or how to get to the positions that you've identified that would give you that variety. So we know the work you love. You just don't want to be in an office stuck behind a desk or in a cube. You want to be on the move, different environments, but doing the same work. We know what work you love.
It's always evolving.
Okay, great. So what are you not clear about? The type of positions or how to get to the positions that you've identified?
A little bit of both, and fear of I did it once, and doing it here in Missouri is a little scary in the sense of connections and success. Like, I don't have a whole lot of success here, so kind of getting into the areas where I need to be able to work in those fields kind of scares me, I think, and it doesn't feel like it's reachable.
Okay, is it because, so now we're getting somewhere. So you don't think that getting the type of position you want is doable because you don't have enough contacts in Missouri?
Yeah, like, I know this is where I was born and raised, but success driven, like steady work history. I don't have any out here.
Who cares? Hold on a second. Who cares? Who cares? Wait a second. What state is your success in?
In South Dakota.
Who cares? Do you think that the past work that you've done in South Dakota isn't relevant to employers in Missouri who need somebody like you to help them win?
Yeah.
You think it's not relevant?
No, it's relevant.
Of course it is. Of course it does. How long have you been working in Missouri?
A year now.
Have you done a good job in that job?
No, I don't think so. Like, before COVID, I got brought in, and I was supposed to be it was a trial period, and I was going to be doing the role like I did in South Dakota. But then COVID hit, and my dad was in the hospital, and we just had lost my mom. So all of that happened, and I think they just went a different direction or something. Like, it was no longer an option to them to pursue, and they never brought it up. But when I talk about it to them, they're like, "Oh, we still want you to do this," but it doesn't reflect. And when I took the guide, it says that I'm doing the wrong job in the wrong company. Right. And I feel like that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's my point. So I'm so glad you called, because Misty, I think you're really clear. I think you're just absolutely scared to put yourself out there and really work the relationships and go get what you want to get. Because I'm still not hearing any evidence from you. And I'm not saying there's not any evidence, but absent of some evidence that you've got a stellar career of experience doing those things. And boy, the confidence was oozing off of you a couple of minutes ago. Ken, I'm good at everything. I'm so good at all these things. Where's that Misty? And where's the disconnect between getting super active, if you haven't already, the minute this phone call is over, getting really active to find other positions in Independence, Missouri or surrounding areas that allow you to step into those roles where you are a part of a process. You're in the back end operation side of things, fixing problems, supporting people so that they can be better, introducing new processes, being that innovative problem solver. Hey, we're sending Misty out to this district office to help out. You know, those positions are there.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but see,
I do have an interview this week.
Good.
For like administrative assistant, but then like I've made it through the first few tiers of their process, and now I'm kind of worried because I think that I'm nervous that it's going to be an office job. I'm nervous that
so guess what? Don't apply for office. Don't listen. Do your homework on the front end. There's no reason for you to step from one job, the one you're in currently, that is dead end for you, and then step into another one. I can tell you right now, an administrative assistant job is probably not moving around out and about. They're probably stuck in an office. So you need to go, wait a second. Is that a transitional move for you? Maybe it is a better position than you're in now. Maybe it's better pay. And I'm okay if you do that, if it takes you 6 months to a year to find the right role. But for me, part of it is I just think you need to get excited about what it is, like you were on the start of the phone call, and take that excitement and say, I'm going to find the position that I actually want, because it's out there. You're acting kind of like it's a unicorn, and it's not. It's not. whether it's for a construction company.
I can work for myself.
Well, okay, but here's the deal.
That's not what I want to do.
I know. So why are we bringing it up? You know why I haven't talked about that since you said it? Because as soon as you said, I could work for myself, but I don't want to. I want to work for somebody else. I immediately deleted that comment.
That.
You know what your problem is? You just have suffered a crisis of confidence. And I think you're stuck in it right now. And I'm glad you called today because I'm telling you, Misty, you're a rock star. And until you actually begin to believe what you said about yourself about 2 minutes into the call, then you're going to stay stuck. There's actually nothing that I can do and say that's going to help you today because you already have all the answers. And anybody listening to this call knows, Misty, Ken didn't give her one new thing. You already have all the answers. You just needed me to say, atta girl, go get it. Misty, I'm giving you permission to go find what it is you really want to do and be patient. And when you find it, then we get after it. But you're coming up with all these reasons as to why it can't happen. And I'm telling you, it can't happen. And you know it, don't you, Misty?
Yeah.
So, Misty, I want you to get after it. And I expect to hear from you in 2 or 3 months, maybe less. And it's an update phone call. Maybe it's even a dream scream if you find the dream job. I don't know.
That would be nice.
Well, are you committed?
I am. I've been trying. I've been super excited about this. And
I know. But listen, I'm glad you called today because you didn't need any advice from me. You know what you need from me? You need me to tell you how much I believe in you. And I'm telling you, you're an absolute stinking rock star. The world revolves around the Mistys. There's so many companies that need what you can do right now. Get your chin up and keep going. I love Misty. That's really, really good. 844-747-2577. Sometimes I just need that. Sometimes I just need to talk to somebody and go, listen, I don't need any advice right now. I just need to tell you I feel like Youre. And then somebody goes, well, listen, man, you're acting like Youre. You need to be bouncing around like Tigger. Here's 5 reasons why you should be Tigger. That's what we need. And there's nothing wrong with that. Misty's got all the answers. She just needs to snap out of it and keep going. It's tough. It's tough right now to find that right gig. I get it. But there is always something good for us in the waiting. I'm going to get to Vicky. Vicky, hang on. I'm getting to you, but I want to share something that went nuts over the weekend. The social media team, we get together, we work together, and the tweets or the Instagram posts and all that stuff, that's all stuff that I've either said on the show, written in a book, or from the stage. And I'm going to read a post that has gone bananas on my Instagram account at Ken Coleman and on Twitter and Facebook. And this is a simple thought. And I got to be honest with you, when I read it and I saw that it was doing very well, I thought, and it's just a really simple reminder. And it's perfect coming off this call. Here's what I wrote. There's purpose in the waiting. It might not be fun at the time. Let me correct myself on that. Waiting ain't ever fun. That's what I should have said, but we'll keep going. There's purpose in the waiting. It might not be fun at the time, but the waiting grows you and refines you. It definitely humbles you. And it prepares you for the work you'll do in the future. That little simple post, not even that well written, and that's not on the social media team. That's just probably the way I said it. But you know what? It's a nice reminder for all of us. There's always something good in the waiting that grows within us. So embrace it. Now, it doesn't mean you sit around and wait for somebody to tap you on the shoulder. You get after it and you go for it like Misty has been. But the idea here is that all you can control are the actions. The results aren't up to you. And that's what's hard. And that's where the waiting comes in. But it's always, always worth it. 844-747-2577. South Jordan, Utah is where Vicky has been waiting. Vicky, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, I'm a special education teacher. I've been doing that for 17 years, and I'm just kind of tired of being treated like I don't matter. But I'm open to looking at a different career, a different option. I just don't have a lot of confidence in myself and in my skills looking at the private sector. So I'm just wondering how I overcome that hurdle and how do I start searching. I have a couple of leads, but it seems kind of different trying to look at, education going into a different setting.
Well, I think that's a really important question. And let's focus on the first part of that question, which is how do I get the confidence that I can move from special education into the private sector? So let's forget private sector for a moment, all right? And I just want you to tell me what talents, your top talents, think abilities and qualities. Abilities would be hard skills. You know what that means. And qualities are soft skills, more of a personal nature, okay? Personality traits, character traits. That's what I mean when I say qualities. So what are your top 3 to 5 hard skills that made you a good special ed teacher, regardless of how you were treated?
I'm really good at taking big skills and breaking them down into small chunks and helping people understand how to improve their skills by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at PR, I guess, where I can reach out to other faculty members and work with them on a one-to-one basis in their classroom even.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at writing curriculum and following curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good, kind of a chameleon, I guess, of sorts. I can kind of give up what I do to blend in with other people's classrooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. All right, now let's just keep going. I love this. This is so good. What else were you going to say?
I'm a people person, obviously. I love to work with people. That's the best part of my job.
Yes.
And I love helping others succeed and do things they didn't think they could do.
Yeah. Now,
because
let's pause.
Go ahead.
After you just went through that list, how transferable? Don't cop out on me and say, well, Ken, I'm just not confident. I know you're not confident. But now that you've listed those things out, are those things valuable in the business marketplace?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? As you were listing this out, I'm writing it down on my moleskin, and I'm just smiling because I'm like, she has no idea how valuable she is. See, it doesn't matter whether you've been in special ed for 17 years. You bring those talents to the table. Oh my gosh, every business in America needs somebody like you. I really think you're a hub. Think about it. You love working with people, connecting with people, but connecting with them to either train them. So I thought of a couple things. Forget job title for a moment, Vicki, and interrupt me if I start to say something that doesn't sound right. But there's a part of you that could be really good in training, whether that be in HR or in more of a training a discipline within a company or training customers. You are a natural instructor. True or false?
True.
Yeah, and you love instructing. True or false?
True.
You're good at instructing. True or false?
True.
Yeah, okay. So the instructor / trainer could fit in a lot of places. And you love it because you love connecting with others and seeing good things happen. Then there's the writing part, which that's a detail thing. So you're gifted verbally, not just writing, but also communicating publicly. True or false?
True.
Yeah. And you love execution too. There's a part of you that really loves execution. Here's the plan, and I want to see the plan all the way through. And I follow it by dotting the I's and crossing the T's. True or false?
True.
Yeah. So that set of skills, really, because they are talent, but you've honed those over 17 years in a very difficult environment.
True.
Yeah, I know. So put you in an environment where you're rewarded and you are promoted by bringing that to the table. And all of a sudden, I think you're flourishing. So I would open it wide open and I would write down what your job description would be just for fun before you even start looking online. Well, a perfect day for me would be connecting with people and using my verbal skills and my execution skills and my discernment skills and my instructing skills to make people and processes better. Now, I just made that up. Does that sound kind of close?
Yeah.
Does that sound like sounds like a good day to you, doesn't it?
It sure does.
So here's the deal. Take what I just said and make it way better, because you will, and that's your job description. And then start looking online for that and see the parallels. Do you track with what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Vicki, you're going to see all kinds of positions. Maybe some positions in HR, maybe in a corporate training division, maybe in a customer service role, maybe a manager.
Right. These are the directions I've been going because I have just kind of opened myself up to options. And
yes,
I actually have a couple of leads, so I'm excited about that.
You should be.
The confidence thing is what I need help with.
I know, which is I hope I have injected some of my confidence into you.
Yes.
How confident are you right now? Tell the truth. I don't mind if it's not.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, good. We don't like anybody lying on this show. We don't get anywhere if we're not honest. And Vicki, I'm going to tell you something. I love hearing the chuckle coming out of you because listen to me. Do not let the fact that you spent 17 years in one industry limit your brain, and that's all that has been happening. It is a natural reaction for you to think what you've been thinking because a lot of us think that. Well, I've been in special ed for 17 years. Oh my gosh, can I even function outside of this? And now I hope we have taken that fear and slapped it around pretty good. And hopefully fear is running out the room right now because you've got everything it takes. All right?
All right. Thank you
Vicki,
so much.
Listen to me. I want to hear back from you. It's really important that you either email the show, ask@kencoleman.com, or you call back in with an update because we're focusing on this more and more now where we want to make sure that people hear progress stories. And I'm telling you, you are one connection. If you use my proximity principle and hang on the line, if you don't have it, I'm going to have Madison give it to you. But you are one connection away from a breakthrough. I'm telling you, it is that simple. 844-747-2577. All right. I'm super excited. Let's just do a quick review of stage 1 on the path to meaningful work. Now, a lot of you folks are Dave Ramsey tribe members. I am a part of Ramsey Solutions. Dave's my mentor. He's my leader. I don't have this show if it's not for Dave and his belief in me. Okay. Some of you may be new to us and you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, and that's fine. Okay. Go check him out. He's got 7 baby steps to true financial peace. Now, I didn't set out to have 7 stages like Dave has 7 steps. It just evolved. Okay. But that's how it's turned out. And so let me do a quick run through of the 7 stages that will get you to true meaningful work and living the dream. Stage 1 is get clear. We're going to break it down in just a moment. Stage 2 is get qualified. Right? That's your ticket to the dance. Stage 3 is get connected. This is how we really get opportunity here. It's true connections. Stage 4 is get started. We got the connections. We're going to get the gig, the opportunity for the gig. We've got to step into it. And stage 5 is get promoted. This is where we eventually start to begin to ascend the ladder, okay? Or the mountain, whatever analogy you want to use. And stage 6 is you eventually will step into the dream job. But is it done there? No. That's why we have a final stage. And consecutively in stage 6, you're in stage 7. You're kind of walking them, hopefully for the rest of your life. And stage 7 is give yourself away. So at that point, you get the dream job. It's all about maximizing the fact that you're in the sweet spot and you realize that this is about giving my best away at work for the benefit of everybody else. That's stage 7. Now, let's break down stage 1, get clear. There are 3 gauges, if you will. Internal gauges that you have the answers to, and this is what I spent a lot of time on the show on, walking callers through this clarity. Okay? And we have the Career Clarity Guide, which is a free guide at kencoleman.com that'll walk you through this if you're new to the program. But let's walk through the 3 indicators, the 3 gauges, if you will. Let's think of you as a internal, it's got this dashboard. There's 3 things we're looking at on the dashboard. What you do best, that's your talent. Second thing is what work you love to do. You just love the work. Forget about success. Forget about notoriety. You just love the actual work. That's passion. And then third, the results of your work that matter deeply to you. Or in other words, I want to work to create these results because, Ken, this makes my heart come alive. This is what that's why we call it mission. So gauge 1, talent. Gauge 2, passion. Gauge 3, mission. Now, we want to get clear on the answers to each one of those questions. What do I do best? What do I love to do most? And then what results matter most? When we get those answers, we see how they all come together. and how they intersect, because here's how the formula works. We use our talent to perform our passion to fulfill our mission. In other words, we use what we do best to do the work we love to do most, to produce results that matter deeply to us. This is not difficult stuff. That's what you're looking to get clear on, which is why we call stage 1, get clear. Now, as we get those results, we see, oh gosh, the intersection of talent, passion, mission is my sweet spot. Now, we use that analogy because it's super simple to understand, and primarily because I grew up playing sports. And anybody who's ever played sports, or at least watches a sport, understands the analogy of the sweet spot. And we'll use baseball, the great American pastime, as our example. When the bat hits the baseball on the sweet spot of the bat, here's what happens. It's the spot on the bat that you're supposed to strike the baseball in, and it's on the barrel, and it's a certain amount of space. And when the bat hits the ball there, here's what happens. The batter, she or he who hits it on the sweet spot, they don't hardly feel it. It's almost like a click. They barely feel it. And the irony there is that they barely feel the contact, but the ball travels at maximum efficiency. In other words, farther and faster. So if you ever watched Home Run Derby, Joe, my favorite thing in the world in baseball is to watch the Home Run Derbies. And you got the pitching coach just lobbing these balls in, and these dudes are just smacking it. And the swing looks super fluid. They're swinging hard, but it's fluid. But what's really happening there is, what's the difference between them hitting a line drive, that kind of just does a funky thing, and a ball that just soars 500 feet? They hit the ball in the sweet spot of the bat. And so we as fans, we go, oh my gosh, as we see this ball sail out of the park. And so that's how everybody sees us when we are working in our sweet spot. They see the effort, but what they really marvel at is how effortless it looks. They know there's effort, but you don't feel as though you are struggling at all. There may be hard days, yes, but the reality is when you're in your sweet spot and you're doing that work that you were created to do, people marvel at it and they go, you were born for this. You're a natural. And so that's why we use the sweet spot analogy. Now, stay with me. So when you see, oh, my sweet spot allows me to have multiple jobs or career paths, this takes the pressure off. I encounter so many people that are afraid to make a decision to be who they were created to be because they're afraid it might be the wrong decision, and that's natural. It's a heavy deal. Ken, how do I know that this one thing is my dream job? What if I told you there are multiple dream jobs in your sweet spot, multiple career paths? All that matters is that the work, the job, the career path is in your sweet spot, and you are fulfilling this unique role. See, the unique role comes to us when we figure out what our sweet spot is. Well, here's the deal. I know that I need to be using this talent to perform this passion, to fulfill this mission. And as you begin to see all that, you go, oh, well, it could be a physical therapist, could be a nurse, could be a PA, could be a doctor. I'm just choosing one profession. Could be all those things. So now you've got some real freedom to look at all of those things and go, what is a one-word descriptor about all of those things? Doctor, PA, physical therapist, nurse, anesthesiologist, radiologist, whatever. What is the one word, a role descriptor that sums all those up? And you know what it is? Caretaker. Caregiver. Pick the word. This is what's so important about this. Then you go, wait a second. Oh, Ken, I get it. When I realize what I do best, my talent, when I realize what work I love to do most, my passion, when I realize what results of my work move my heart and fill it, then I can look down and sketch a purpose sentence out. I'm going to use what I do best, blank, blank, and blank, to do the work that I love to do most, blank, blank, to create results that matter deeply to me, blank. And you look at that purpose sentence and you go, it really doesn't matter where I am in my work. It matters that am I spending a majority of my day filling the role of caregiver or caretaker or leader or instructor or ideator or activator, or you pick your word. Folks, oh my gosh, this is so good for you when you get this clarity. Because then you go, oh, I could go here and be a caregiver. I can go here and be an instructor. I can go here and be a leader. I could go here and be a problem solver. It gives you tremendous freedom. And the rest of your work life, you will stay in your sweet spot because you retreat back to those gauges. Is this opportunity in my sweet spot? Does it allow me to use what I do best, to do what I love to do most, to produce results that matter deeply to me? And that is how it works. Those are your gauges. And we want to make sure that we're full on all three of those: talent, passion, mission. Because then we see our role and we go, oh gosh, this is great. I can do this. This is what I should be doing. Oh, this offer is very attractive. More money. Bigger title. Ooh, it's not my sweet spot. I should say no to that. Yes, you should. So that's why stage 1 on the path to meaningful work is called Get Clear. And gosh, when we get clear, guess what happens? 2 really vital things come out of clarity, and we will need these things on the journey. The second thing that happens once we're clear is that we get confident. Oh my gosh, a clear person is confident. I know where I want to go, why I want to go there, and I got a pretty good idea how I'm going to get there. Boy, that's a confident person. And so a confident person will eventually get to stage 4, get started, and they'll step out and they'll keep going. But there will be times on the journey where this get clear stage comes right back up. And it's when the detours of life, the accidents of life, the storms of life, the stuff that we know is going to happen that will really stop us, and it'll challenge us, and we're stuck for a moment or we're thrown off the path. What do? Those are the moments of life that shake us to our core. Big challenges. Oh boy, did I get in over my skis? Is the water too deep, too rough here? And we go back to getting clear, and the confidence reemerges, and guess what shows up? Courage. Oh, courage cannot and will not show up when you need it most if you aren't clear. If you aren't clear, there will be no confidence, and thus there will be no courage to stay on course. So that's why it's really important to get clear, which is stage 1 on the path to meaningful work. The next stage, get qualified. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Don't miss it. All right, let's go to the chat room. I changed the order up, Joe, because I was just so fired up, because that's really, really what our second caller was all about. Vicky, she didn't have confidence because she wasn't clear, and that's what we spent our time doing. So you're watching this, you want to go back and watch it. I want you to go back now that I've taught Get Clear. And a good exercise for those of you who are lacking confidence, go back and listen to the phone call with Vicky. And I walked you through the tactical stuff about her, and then rewatch the teaching on how to get clear. And I'm telling you, it works every time. All right, let's go to the chat room. Corrine writes in, on my resume, who is the best person to put in the who I know section if I don't know anyone at the company? Okay, great question. And what we're trying to do here is, in the who I know section, we're trying to give you as much credibility as possible with the person and their credibility and then their endorsement statement. So I don't know what industry you're going in, but what you would want to do here is try to get a rock star who's in the industry. That would be ideal. And if you don't have that, we're looking for the most impressive person that you know, that even if that person who's reading your resume doesn't know that person, they go, oh, this is quite an endorsement statement, and this is from the CEO of a $50 million company over in Oklahoma City, whatever that would be. So that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to get that prospective interviewer to go, whoa, Corrine's impressive. Let's go to Kimberly. No, I'm sorry. Yes, we have 2 Kimberlys in here. Okay, I want to shoot for my dreams, but it would cost more in childcare than the pay I would earn. My spouse will have a schedule that is days 1 month and nights the next. What should I do? Well, what we need to do is there's really 2 things here. We want to get creative on, can we make some changes? that would allow us to be able to afford the childcare. A, if that's not possible, let's go to B. B would be, are there any friends and family members who see our situation, know that this is for a season for you to really get on the pursuit? Can they help with childcare to where it's not an increased cost? If that's not an option, we're going to go to C, which is, you think that what you just proposed to me is the only way. And it's not the only way. There might be a season where you and your husband need to save up, make some sacrifices, and get to a place where you can afford childcare. So it's what I would call a temporary delay. Okay? That's what I would say. Now, I would tell you that I gave you the best answer I can give you as to what I think your buckets of options should be. But this is a chat here that I would say I'd almost prefer you to call into the show. 844-747-2577 any day this week. And let's see if I can get more detail from you, and thus I can create a more detailed plan. But I would love to do that. All right, Joe. Gosh, I'm having too much fun. My time's almost up on YouTube here today. Before I let you go, you matter. You do have what it takes. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.